Dun, 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 dun. Bum, 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 bum. So we are live. No dropped frames. We're getting yellow from YouTube, green from me. That's very curious. But otherwise, we look like we're pretty good to go. So, refresh here. We are indeed showing that we are live. So, good morning, everybody. Or I should say almost good afternoon, because it's just about noon. And welcome to today's stream. We're going to play some more Grim Dawn. We're going to play more of our campaign, because I've been totally in the mood. I've been actually really in the mood to play some Grim Dawn, and I just haven't. I take that back. I've been playing a little bit, but on my own, and have not, like, really advanced the story or anything, because I want to capture everything on camera. But I've been, like, just doing a little bit of grinding, and I'm just sick of doing it, so I just kind of want to play the game. Let's pop out our chat. There we go. Scroll down. So I'm getting yellow bars from YouTube, but I got green on my end, so we're gonna try to make this work. Oh, and by the way, you know what? Today's stream should probably be a little bit better quality. Yesterday I was planning on streaming, but instead, before the playoff game, I spent like a good hour and a half just making some test videos, trying to get the best quality bit rate that I can, you know, along with the best quality, or the best FPS that I possibly can muster. So I was dicking around with that a lot yesterday, and I think today's stream should be able to reflect that. I also moved my webcam down here to the bottom right hand corner, because when I was up here it was too large. And it was like a lot of the times when I was like moving the camera around and having having it move north and having it face north and fighting monsters that are in the north, the webcam was in the way. I did watch a couple of my previous episodes that I've been publishing, and I noticed that. I was like, man, that kind of sucks. Really wish I would have caught that earlier on. So I think I have moved it to an area that should be okay, because what I was talking about is that, like, you know, where these people are standing, it'd be like the monsters would be up here and I'd be shooting them, but then the webcam would be in the way. Stupid. So here's what I did in the meantime. Let's go to the world map. So up here, well, I'm not going to be able to show you until we actually go up there, but Burrwitch Village, we were on the outskirts of it, and what do you call it? I just basically got into the very beginning portion of it just to unlock the rift. I feel like that was a fair place. I didn't really do anything like story-wise. I did gain a couple of levels. Let's see here. Let's go over that real quick. So I had like, I think I gained 3 levels, so it'd be what, nine skill points here. And basically what I did is I just straight up dumped them all into the shaman mastery. I think it's right now is what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pump up to the point where I can get a Wendigo totem. And it'd be really nice to actually get blood packed with it, because it's ridiculous. And also, I've been like looking up another build online that was definitely advocated the use of Devouring Swarm, because of its minus 10% vitality resistance. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that scales like really well too. I would have to double check it. We'd have to go on Grim Tools to actually take a look. But what I was thinking about, like, we are going to get access to the NPC to respec, and there are a couple of things here I'm thinking I may end up wanting to respec out of. Actually, it don't really only be the one thing, because it would just be Grasping Vines. I'm just not sure. I mean, I like Grasping Vines, don't get me wrong. It's a really good spammable skill. I'm not really doing it for the damage. I'm really doing it for the crowd control mechanic, the 40% slower target movement speed for 2 seconds. That's really what I'm getting it for. So, like, you know, there's a lot of monsters that rush you in this game, I've noticed, and that helps mitigate that. Let's see here. As far as my attribute points, I pretty much just put, I don't know, several points into physique. I didn't touch the other 2 stats. I have done a little bit of magic finding, a little MFing, I guess, if you will. I have found a couple of epic items, like the Mistwalker leggings and the Acolyte's cord here. I'm thinking the Acolyte's cord is probably part of an Acolyte set, but it's not actually giving any kind of information here on the tooltip about it, whether or not it is actually specifically part of a set or not. It could just be, I don't know, a list of named unique items is called Acolyte, so it's kind of loosely a set, but not really technically a set. Let's see here. I know I changed a few other things. I got this spiffy new firearm here, got some new armor. We changed our helmet. Everything's looking pretty good. So I know that I just got this this rare metal recently. It was pretty freaky deaky awesome, man. The +1 to raise skeletons, plus the bonuses to pets attack speed. That was a really good find. I was really pleased with that. And right now I'm looking to actually replace this ring, but I'm hoping to get something that's going to be worthy enough, you know, for replacement, because I mean it is giving us the +50 flat health. That's pretty awesome, and then it's giving us all these resistances. So I gotta keep in mind that, like, my build might not seem the most optimal at the end of the day. When push comes to shove, and we're sitting here going tit for tat over, you know, min-maxing these skills and whatever, and all of our attributes, I know my build is going to differ from a lot of people's, because it's not going to be completely and fully optimized for DPS, because we're playing a hardcore character, right? And I've harped on this many times. We have to keep in mind that we need survivability. Like, absolutely, that should be our #1 priority over anything else. So when it comes to our gear choices, we're really gonna have to pay attention to our resistances, our defensive ability, all the good stuff. Let's see here. I got a whole bunch of other things here in my inventory. Pretty nice shield. I have been just collecting a few items here and there and putting it into the shared stash tab, so that way if like I ever decide to make another character,
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
You know, I got a couple pieces of gear here that might be good for some other characters. Oh,
it's a good use.
I did pick up this thing, this cultist's orders. The Brothers of the Blood. The ethereal presence in Burrwitch grows stronger with each passing day. We are shifting our operations beyond the city limits, where we may proceed with our plans undisturbed. Our focus now turns upon Devil's Crossing, where our newest agent, Direni, has successfully sabotaged their water pump. Soon that irksome group will be forced to flee their sanctuary, and then they shall be at our mercy. Ready yourselves, brothers. Soon we shall drink their blood. This is Salazar, blood of Chthon. That's what I'm just gonna pronounce it Chthon, okay? You know, that's what I called it in Diablo 2. The treads, the boots. I mean, that's really what where the term came from. Let's see here. Since I made it to Burrwitch, since I made it to the actual Rift Gate, we have a couple thingamabobbers, some people here now to talk to. So dump this stuff off real quick. Let's see here. Nope. That is a partial component. That should have actually gotten sold. I have found some other epic gear here, like Blood Moon. Like, I've got some of this stuff, but it just doesn't make sense that I would equip it. So that's why I don't actually have any of it equipped. Let's see here. Oh, holy shit, look, I've actually completed my first Corpse Dust. This is really good, because Corpse Dust is one of the things you can actually enchant your rings and amulets and your medals. So I really wish in this game there was an option to, or a button I could press to, like, suppress the tooltip here. I wanted to turn it off, because what you do is if you hover over your gear here, your equipped gear, like your metal, for instance, for a split second there, you can actually see it. Like, so for over here, Roiling Blood, whenever I hover over a piece of gear that has a corresponding component that can be added to it, it kind of highlights it. And Corpse Dust is one of those items. that we absolutely wanted. The other reason why I really wanted it was because of the God, what was the reason? There was something for it. There was some sort of aura. There were 2 items that you really wanted to pay attention to. One of them was imbued silver here, which gives you the Void Ward. And it's basically, yeah, it's like a toggled... Dude, the Roiling Blood is so ridiculous. I really wish I could... It says... Weapons, shields, and caster offhands. And the reason why I haven't used it yet is because... Well, I know I'm going to be swapping gear out. Ah, man, I really want to use this corpse dust, but I don't remember what it was used for. I think maybe I have to craft it into something. I don't know. You know, we'll screw around with that later. Okay, partial components. I think that was it. Okay.
I'll hold on to that for you.
So let's go hit some of these people up and get our new quests. Talk to Mr. Captain John Bourbon.
Have you found a rift gate in Burrwitch? What's the situation out there?
Swarming with ethereal corruption, but the rift gate is secure.
Good work. While you were gone, I dug through some of the files in this office, and I think we have our target. As you are acutely aware, ethereals can possess humans and bend them to their will. I always had my suspicions, but now I have little doubt. The former warden of this prison is possessed. Well before the Grim Dawn, in fact.
Alright, so we got 350 experience for talking to the man here. So how can you be so sure?
There have been countless holes in the prison records, prisoners just disappearing, never to be seen again. The warden's personal logs paint a more complete picture. He's been transferring prisoners into a secret facility underneath his mansion in Burrwitch Village for years. What for, I don't know, but I'm sure it wasn't for rehabilitation. There are also several mentions of ethereals and rift gates. I need you to find this man, or whatever he has become.
All right, where can I find him?
Warden Krieg owned a mansion in the northern district of Burrwitch Village. The logs indicate that his facilities can be reached via the cellar. I'm afraid I don't have more to go on, but if we want to strike back at the ethereal power structure in the region, the warden is our prime target.
I will end the warden's life. So that's pretty much like the big bad boss of the first act. Yes, this game has acts, and no, I've never actually completed it. Just, you know, throughout my my time looking at like different builds and stuff, I remember actually a lot of people talking about, you know, speed clearing certain portions of the game and having to do it at certain portions or having to do it at under certain times. So we are friendly, so we can get the tier 1 stuff. I don't really want to use any of these. I don't want to rely on any of these oils or tinctures or any of the consumables.
See you around.
Like whatsoever. Like I'll use them in specific instances. Like if I know I'm going to be in a dungeon that's just going to be a pain in the ass with one kind of element, and I don't have that element like maxed out as far as resistances go, then I might end up using them just for that area. But I'm not going to like use them as like it's going to be I don't know, like the de facto thing that I have to use in my build. I don't want to do that.
What do you want?
You looking to start problems? Best be on your way. So here, I found a curious note in Burrwitch. It mentions you by name. Oh, I wouldn't believe anything it says. It's Slender. So we have 2 options here. We could do either explain yourself, or we could do your schemes are finished and your life forfeit. Let's actually go with the explain yourself. Now I know this doesn't look good for me, but hold that weapon of yours in check a second, eh? Yes, I sabotaged the water pump, but I had my reasons. You see, I was a prisoner back here when this place still served as an actual prison. When the world went down the slith hole, I stayed here with a few others. It was the safest place I can think of. Clearly Bourbon thought the same when he showed up with the rest of the survivors. Things escalated quickly. I'm sure it was us who fired first, but it was them that fired the last. Those prisoners survived. Those prisoners that survived were driven out and set free, quote unquote. Now call me a coward for all I care, but I hid when the fighting got ugly. Came out later looking for another refugee, and no one was the wiser. Never could forgive Bourbon for what he did to us, though. I missed the part where you don't deserve to die there, sir. All right, I'm getting to that. The cult of Chithon? Not a bunch of people you want to cross. Obsessed with the blood of some fallen god, or maybe it's just blood in general. They made me an offer. I sabotage the water pump, I get safe haven at their hideout. Get back at Bourbon and find a new home. 2 birds with 1 stone, as they may say. Wasn't until I attended one of the underground meetings that I realized I was mixing with the wrong crowd. And believe me, I've been affiliated with some pretty twisted individuals before. Ran out of there before they were done with the first quote-unquote initiate. You don't want to know what that entails. I do have one of their keys, though. The prize for the mistakes that I've made. Let's make a deal, eh? You don't breathe a word of this to Bourbon, and I give you my key along with the directions to their lair. Should be plenty of stolen belongings there, ripe for the taking for the likes of you. Don't try anything funny, though. I'll keep that key well hidden. Don't want to raise any suspicions now. So I was trying my best when I was looking up builds and things, or just trying to ask, like, there were some just general questions that I've had, you know, in the past, and I've always tried to cut myself away from anything that was going to completely spoil the game. And I know that there were like little tidbits that I think were part of people's analyses, you know, via their builds, that actually had pieces of information that were going to, I mean, irrevocably change the way I thought about the game, because, you know, it was going to talk about aspects like you had to choose this and this and this act. Like, I didn't even realize there were acts before I started really looking up builds. I wasn't sure that there was any in this game. But now I know, right? And because I was looking stuff up, and this is one of those things. I remember reading something somewhere that there was like some sort of choice that you had, that you could choose between 2 different things, and the outcome would give you like a different, I don't know, set of bonuses or something. I don't know exactly what you get, like going left versus right here, but I know that like the choice is like this is actually a choice that matters, and I'm not really sure which way I want to go. I could just X out of this and not do either one, but I just want to hold off. I'm gonna hold off. I gotta look this up. I'm really curious. I don't want to screw it up. Like, I want to play this seriously, but I just don't want to mess it up. I don't want to get like a really terrible bonus that I'm not going to be able to use, you know? Then again, I don't really necessarily want to like min-max this character either. I kind of want to just have it be a laissez-faire, you know, have it be a serious build. I mean, it has to be functional. Let's see here. Where'd you find this guy? He'd make a soup out of stone if you asked him to, and I'd reckon it would taste damn fine. Rock soup, eh? Is it better than what you've been serving? We got a joker in our midst now, eh? I gotta go. Let's talk to Ulgrim here. Well, if it isn't my savior, I can't thank you enough. I finally got to cook for other people again. Here, have some soup. Could use some salt, but Captain Whiskey over there insists it's for the combat use only. Glad you've settled in. Nice, we got a achievement for that. Oh, and by the way, I did get an achievement for activating the Burrwitch Village Rift Gate. There was an achievement attached to that I got to the other night. So, I don't remember Ulgrim. It's been a little while since our last stream when I actually probably rescued this guy. But we're just now turning it in. We get 450 experience points and then 250 Devil's Crossing reputation. Sounds pretty swell. Come back anytime. I've got a few old stories to tell if you have an ear to listen. Oh, Jesus Christ. Let's take some more soup. Here you go, nice and hot. Eat up now. You don't want to offend me now, do you? So I'm guessing the eating the soup thing was like basically eating one of the untouched meals that you find out in the wilderness. That's my guess anyways. Alright, well, let's ask him to hear one of his stories. Like, I know I'm going to get like a lot of like dialogue pasta here. I served a follower of Dreeg once. Now, I don't normally judge a man based on his beliefs, but those people believe in some twisted stuff. The all-seeing eye, the hidden realm, the witch gods supposedly reside in, how Dreeg is the watcher that guards the way. No wonder why they're so uptight if they think someone is staring at them all the time. It's funny, though. Apparently, somebody was watching him after all. Not long after we parted ways, an Inquisitor took him in for questioning, and he was never seen again. At least, that's what I heard. So that's kind of really interesting if we were playing the Kabbalist, right? Because the Inquisitor actually has the other skills, the Dreeg skills. Although I think the Shaman, I think we have a Dreeg skill too. I think, like a really shitty one. But like the Inquisitor actually has the one skill that's really good for pets. So that's kind of interesting. Let's actually hear another one. Let's just do it for shits and giggles here. So have you run into the Bloodsworn yet? The fanatical cult devoted to the supposed elder god of Chthon? The cult has existed forever, some say before recorded history. I always thought the myth of an elder god betrayed and gruesomely dismembered was too fantastical to be anything but the stuff of theater. But since the Grim Dawn, it seems the cult has a newfound power and desperate men flock to swell their ranks. When I was wandering the outskirts of Burrwitch, I came upon some cultists who pressed me to join their ranks. At first, they wouldn't take no for an answer, but I treated them to some hearty stew, and they troubled me no further. Never underestimate the power of good cooking. I just wonder if this guy's for flavor, of like, you know, like talking to him so many times actually does something. I mean, that's like a common RPG element. Like, there's always like that one NPC that you talk to a million times. You got to talk to them over and over and over again, and you have to listen to all their stories. Then eventually, like, you know, you get to do whatever their function is in the game. I know that's certainly the case for some of the Suikoden games, where there was like that one character you had to just talk to repeatedly, and then you get the option, just because you talk to them so many times, to actually recruit them. So Constance here actually has a quest for us. I'm sorry if I insulted you earlier. Your origins were just a bit startling. I hear that you brave the dangers beyond Lower Crossing. I was wondering if you could help gather some materials. So we can ask her what she needs, or we can actually ask her about her children. Let's ask her about her children. No, my children are dead. I left them alone at home while I went off to visit our neighbor, eh? Right. Captain John found me hiding in the neighbor's cellar like a coward. What kind of mad gods would leave the innocent to be slaughtered while wretches like me are spared? Captain John brought me here. He gave me these children, Jane and Alex, to look after. Caring for them is the only thing that keeps me going. I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry for your loss. Why? Because she was over there fucking the next door neighbor? Get out of here. Or, well, let's ask her what she needs then. You see, I was a seamstress before the Grim Dawn. Nothing special. Made just enough to get by. But now I see an opportunity to use my trade to make a difference around here. I would like to sew some of the new canopies and maybe some new clothes if there is enough fabric left. Alex and Jane deserve better than this. If you could please gather any fabric you find, the people here would be grateful. The waterfront in Burrwitch would be a good place to start looking. We will get the fabric. It was a good thing to actually go up there, because I had the feeling like it had been a while since we actually investigated her or spoken with her, and I kind of figured there had to be a quest related to her. I really just want to pick up this quest, but I guess we can hold off, because I'm not planning on making tonight's stream like super long. Yes, we will go to Burrwitch Village. There is like a secret over here, by the way. There's like some sort of like super powered boss in a cave, by the way. Can we actually get around? Okay, awesome. So I'm just gonna throw this out there. If my, if the webcam, little face cam shits, if that's getting in the way, just let me know and we'll adjust it. And as far as the audio goes too, I think I got everything set the way I wanted to, except for one thing. There was, let's see here, audio. Now that I mention it, we want a dialogue volume. It was just a little too loud, man. Mang. I would have really liked to actually pump a couple of those skill points that I had from the levels that I accrued when I was playing on my own to actually bump up my skeletons a little bit. But I'm really thinking that going with the Wendigo's pact, or excuse me, the totem is just the better way to go. Because the totem itself is pretty defensive, isn't it? So it does mend wounds, which restores a whole bunch of health. And it does vitality damage. Life tap. So what my understanding is basically you just cast it and you just plunk this thing down and it creates an aura. And anything in that aura, anything of mine in that aura will get the bonus. Which should make like pretty much like all of my pets and all the summons and whatnot more beefy. It probably would help if I actually summoned my other 3 skeletons there. Just backtracking here, just show you guys this super cool boss. I'm not really entirely convinced I want to come down here yet. So there's like, oh no, wait, did it not spawn here? Dude, it spawned in like every one of my games. And then the one time I'm actually bringing it up in here in the stream, it doesn't actually show up. Okay, well, I guess this is like one of those things that's can be completely random in this game, apparently. I'm a little shocked. Actually, am I doing this? No. Yeah, it was right here. There was a cave right here in all of my other games, and there was like this massive boss here that would like rush you. And he does a shit ton of damage. And I got him down to like maybe like 2/3 health. But I figured, you know what, this guy was probably a little hard for me, and I didn't want to like risk dying off camera. Because I feel like if I'm going to play a hardcore character and I'm going to die, I might as well die on camera so everybody sees the dumbass mistake I made, right? But now it's not showing up. I don't get it. Like, maybe the reason why it's not going to show up anymore is because the fact that I had the triggered event when I stepped into the Burrwitch village rift gate. I don't know. I almost got the impression that that boss was like a prestige boss. Like, it was like the type of boss that it's supposed to be hard at that point in time in the game, and it's only available at that point in time in the game. So it prevents me from basically, you know, coming back after I've presumably finished this difficulty and just like, you know, wiping the floors with this guy and getting whatever, you know, achievement, or I don't even know if there is an achievement attached to it. I'm assuming there is. It kind of seems like that would be like the type of thing that would be absolutely fodder for it. So this is where the cultist orders are from. I can't pick up this other one because I think it's because we have to confront Direni. We haven't advanced the quest yet. But we've already, like, I don't know, reached the other stage of it, I guess. You know what? This area, it actually does not connect. So, like I said, this is what I was actually talking about. I think the last time we left off in the stream was somewhere around here, because I remember these fields still having the fog of war over it. So I think it was pretty much like I had explored like up to here, and basically I just expanded those borders. And originally, when I was just doing it by myself, I pretty much didn't even touch the rift here, and just concentrated on this area, but then eventually I just said screw it and just got the rift. I didn't feel like I was really spoiling the story or anything. It wasn't like, you know, there was something imperative that I felt like needed to be recorded or anything. Although I guess I'd feel like a total asshole if I went and did something like that, you know, just thinking it was innocuous and realizing it was totally part of the story and had like some sort of like major element to it. Like it actually mattered. But luckily that wasn't the case. I don't really want to go down in the cellars again. I mean, there's really nothing down there. They connect to some of these other cellars. But other than that, there was pretty much nothing down there. It was just a way to, I guess, cut across the map. And for those of you that are enjoying my Grim Dawn campaign, first of all, thank you very much for actually tuning in and watching it. It's very appreciated. But for those of you guys that are watching some of my other series but are kind of still interested in this campaign, I do kind of have to apologize slightly to you guys because my woman even commented on this on the other night. She was like, aren't you playing a little bit too much of that game? Referring to this Grim Dawn. And I was like, yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I didn't really think it was like too much, but the point she was trying to make that is that I wasn't spending enough time with my other games. And if she noticed it, then I guarantee you one of you guys have noticed it. And I have been slacking on my other series. It totally did. I mean, like, I'm guilty as charged. It's not because I've like lost interest or anything like that. It has nothing to do with it. I've just been lazy. I have no excuse. The playoffs too. The Major League Baseball playoffs. Yeah, that's my real valid excuse lately. Because I certainly am not really interested in producing videos or live streaming when it's game night. It just can't happen. They are incongruous. And yes, my team still is in the playoffs. I mean, somehow, some way, with the way they've been fucking playing, their goddamn offense is a joke. Not gonna talk about it. Not gonna talk about it. So here's another person of the map here. If you guys remember, I had you have this square over here, right? A square that's already been identified. Like we've already explored it, but I don't know how. But there was another section of the map that was like that. It was I think, oh, it was right here. That's right. It was right here. It was this big section right here because there was the one cave they got into over here that connected to this cave, and then there was the one rift gate. I just wonder why. Is that just like an aesthetic decision, like a design or aesthetic decision, or does it actually have like a functional reason why? I would really hate to be told that the reason why there are these like little squares of the map that are revealed like that is just simply to be a marker for people to understand, you know, where to go next, I guess. If that was the case, I'd be kind of pissed. I'd be like, I just find it annoying. I would want to turn it off. I don't need that hold-handing bullshit. No, sir. Okay, that one is garbage.